I definitely conform to what I was explaining just now about how enjoying people in their seasons and moving on.
Yeah.
Although there are some people that I wish their seasons were longer. But I don't pursue them aggressively, right?
Yeah,
Like I
totally.
can feel that way and just understand like maybe that just wasn't the time. And if we pop back up, I still probably won't talk to you because I'm bitter. But that's neither here nor there, right? Like I'm mad, petty, and I put people through the ringer. If you don't want to be in my life anymore, if you want to come back, you're gonna have to work for it.
Totally.
And that's fair, right? That's totally understandable. I'm a human being,
Right.
But my life has very much conformed to that, enjoying people for their seasons, and if it's not working, moving on.
Totally.
And a lot of people like really hate me for that because it seems like I don't get attached to things.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I really, really strongly believe that there is a person that can match my energy in its entirety.
Where the season will be all 4 seasons.
For the rest of my life,
Yeah.
baby. Or
It'll be the longest season, the longest summer, or maybe winter for you, since you seem to enjoy that so much.
yeah, I love winter, but not necessarily like one season, but they can persist through all of them.
There we go. Yeah.
Right.
I like that.
Makes more sense. They're gonna be with the freaking little raincoats in the winter, and we're gonna be toiling the soil in our garden during the spring.
Yeah, I'm visualizing it. I'm seeing it for you.
Going to the little pumpkin patch in the autumn, beaches in the summer.
Hell yeah.
That's what we want, right? That's the vibe, right?
Yes.
And I think that for all intents and purposes, you said you were romantic. I'm also like very, very deeply invested in this romantic. I'm not hopeless, but I'm definitely a romantic.
Yeah.
I love the
totally.
idea of romance.
Right.
I understand why these ideas are so like they permeate society.
Yeah.
The only difference with me is that I'm not the lack of hopelessness to me is I had to learn how the world worked. And the world doesn't necessarily conform to this romantic ideal.
Gotcha.
So
yeah.
not to sound like a nice guy, but there's a certain pattern of behavior that younger people, teenagers, early 20s, like people between the ages of like 17 and 21, they respond to a very specific set of stimuli. And I learned those stimuli. And in learning the stimulus and how to like create the interaction I wanted, it kind of robbed me of what this romantic situation should have been, right? Because you want
Strip
to
the mystery.
It stripped the mystery, and it kind of disillusioned me a little bit. Because if this is something that is if I can take this and act this way and get this result every time.
What made you pursue that though, as like a young kid, essentially? Like what made you pursue that knowledge of like, was it out of like some sort of like romantic pursuit where you wanted to understand romance, so it was like kind of a naive like
exploration,
not realizing what the result would be?
It was kind of both.
Okay.
Right. I read The Art of Seduction when I was 13.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I don't think I knew the word.
Yeah. My mom left me in the library while she did her little like, because she was a teacher, right? So I got out early and I went to the library.
You're like, ooh, Art of Seduction. I'm over here like warrior cats.
Right. Animorphs. Like what?
Very different 13-year-olds. Anyways.
I didn't even really understand what like it entailed. Like seduction didn't mean what it means to me now.
Totally.
Right?
Totally.
But it was like how to like influence people, be persuasive and whatever. And I was like, okay. Like I could learn how to make friends and stuff like that. I was always a person that struggled like getting along with people.
I was going
right?
to say, was there some social aspect? Okay.
So, and then on top of that, I like, when you have your little crushes and they don't work out, right? I was like pursuing an answer as to like why this didn't work out the way, like what was I missing? Why didn't this work the way I wanted it to? When I wasn't like heartbroken, I was just like confused. I was curious.
Did you always like kind of associate these like failures with some sort of lack of action and not necessarily who you were integrally as a person?
I never necessarily applied it to my self-perception.
Interesting.
It was always
I feel like that's unique.
And I realize that now growing up, right? Because people are like, they take rejection and they're like, oh, there's a deficit in myself.
Right. That's something a lot of people have to learn.
Yeah, I'm not good enough or whatever. For me, it was either one of two things. It was either something that I was lacking, because I could totally exist in the situation if I had the knowledge or the information to exist better, or two, a deficit in the other person. They're not at a place where they can appreciate the extent of who I am, basically.
Totally.
But because of that, completely reframed how I looked at this interpersonal interaction for people in general, right? Because like once you start applying those things, they start producing results.
Right.
And that's why they say be careful about like reading and getting into that type of information, because one, people can use it for like nefarious purposes.
Totally.
Right? And then two, if it's not like integrated into your personality, you just behave that way, then everything always feels contrived. And that's the struggle that I've always had after I learned that stuff. Yeah. And extreme reversal, overcorrection maybe, that's why I gripped so hard at this romantic ideal. Because if everything is contrived, then it feels better to me that those people just aren't people that are meant for me. And the one that I don't have to contrive is the person that is the one I'm supposed to be with.
Totally.
Even the people that I've matched and the chemistry was great and all that stuff was so like amazing. That contrivedness was always kind of there. And I find myself now just like not participating. People get so mad. People get so mad at me. They're like, you take forever to like make a move and you do all this stuff now, blah, blah. It's like, it's not that I can't make a move. Out of anybody that I know, and I see this every time I hang out with dudes, we went to Hawaii, and me and my best friend went to Hawaii, and he took like 15 minutes hyping himself up. Because we saw girls that we wanted to talk to. And I was like, I'm not talking to them.
You're like
I don't want to. I don't care. It's not like, that's not what I came here for. Right. But he wanted to talk to them. And he did. And he did a great job, right? He was fun.
Totally.
But he had to hype himself up and prepare himself to do so. I was like, all right, I'm going to do this. Okay. Yeah. So they walked away. Try not to be like you're staring at them, waiting for them to come down.
Right. Try to make it natural.
Yeah. Try to make it
come
make
up with like your opening line.
Yeah. All that stuff. Yeah. I don't do that. If I want to talk to somebody, I just be like, I wanted to say something to you. Yeah. Where you from? How's it going? Like that type of stuff just doesn't affect me the same way.
Totally. You don't have to like come up with some scenario. You can just go up to someone and be like, I wanted to talk to you because I want to talk to you.
And most people don't care about all that stuff. So again, that stuff isn't wasted on me. So if I wanted to like hold a hand, if I wanted to make out with somebody, I used to make out with people at the club all the time. Didn't care. It was just a thing to do. Sure. Now I don't do it because of the pandemic, and it's kind of gross to me now. Now I'm a little like,
swapping spit with just anyone is kind of.
I gotta respect myself a little more, right? Gotta respect myself a little bit more than that.
I understand.
But like the fear of action and like the hesitation that people have is not something that I struggle with. Again, very bizarre. I don't know why I'm like this. I just happen to be this way. Yeah. And people are so confused. Like, why don't you ever make the first move? It's because if I make a first move, I know the result is going to have. So I'm really trying to experience life and not really be so like manipulative, as I always call it. Yeah. And just see what happens. Gotcha. And really now I'm like very intentional about what moves I'm making so that whatever happens, it feels like it's something that happened because it was supposed to happen and not because we can make it happen. You know what I mean? So
hey, he can make it happen.
I can. That's the thing. That's the problem. In this scenario, it's not necessarily a good thing. Yeah. So my path right now, my journey for the latter half, 25 and up, was just being okay with the contrivedness.
Gotcha.
My awareness of the actions that I'm taking.
Right, because you can't take that away then. Because you are, like we said, a very heady person. So it seems as if that almost like your intellect gets in the way of you being able to just exist in these, even though like it's not like an anxiety thing, right? It's not like you're so anxious in your head you're not able to exist, but I'm just hyper aware of things. Exactly. Well, where's the fun in that?
Exactly. Yeah. Where's the fun in that? That is my thing. Where is the fun in that? Am I just cursed to not necessarily find the fun in it, and I just have to find fun in different aspects of
Yeah.
it. Like, can the fun just be as simple as participation?
Because you're just not even finding the fun in the chase either.
Because the chase isn't fun.
Yeah.
Because it's like Usain Bolt probably doesn't find racing high schoolers fun.
No. Like, and that's what the equivalent it is for
Yeah,
you.
that's kind of how I feel. Mm-hmm. And it's like, oh, just date older people. I'm like, older people have the same thing because
Yeah.
it's not an age thing. It's like a
No.
concept thing. And
Yeah.
if you do these, I bet everyone wants to know what the fuck.
Yeah, what exactly?
What are these things? What
Currently
are you
typing
doing?
in art of seduction, like as 13-year-old
Right.
Jim was able to grasp.
Yeah. Yeah. And maybe too, it became such a second nature thing to me because my mind was so malleable back then. So all the information was very perfectly integrated.
Right,
So it wasn't
right.
like the pickup artist type, hey girl, like how you doing? But now it's like the steps to take, they work on everybody, whether you're 50 or 14. So yeah, I cling to this romantic ideal of the one because
Yeah.
I'm like kind of like the princess waiting in a tower, for lack of a better example.
Yeah.
I'm looking for the knight in shining armor that can save me from myself. I'm the dragon and the damsel at
You're
the
upset. Are
same
you the
time.
damsel in distress?
I'm the damsel and the dragon at the same time. It's like I need someone that can compete with these things and flip them on their heads, and I can explore a new realm. But most people are still just trying to figure themselves out.
Right, exactly. That's like,
So it's
a
like,
whole lot.
let's start there, I guess.
yeah. No, that's interesting. You want to be like intellectually challenged, essentially.
I want to be intellectually challenged to the point that the intellect stops mattering. I want to feel what it feels like to be swept up in a moment and make decisions based on like pure emotionality.
So you're like Rapunzel in your tower and you just want to be saved from yourself. Wow, wow. I'm understanding more about you right now.
Am I starting to make a little more sense to you?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever asked these questions specifically
Yeah.
in our friendship. I think I've just have accepted you for what you are. But
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm asking these questions. So
Yeah.